So I'm going to do a freestanding teddy bear for the Hug Me blanket. So I've hooped some tearaway into the RE hoop and placed that on the machine. And then I've cut a piece of polar fleece, just a bit bigger than the size of the template there. And then I've also cut a piece of solvy. So what I'm going to do is place the polar fleece on the hoop. Make sure you've got the fluffy side up, and then I'm going to place the solvy on top of that, and then what I'm going to do is baste all those 3 layers together.
That's better. Okay, go.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, so we've got the teddy bear on the screen, and I have the machine threaded with the first colour of the bear. So what I want to do first is baste all these layers together. So I'm going into this box, and it's going to ask me if I just want to show where the design is or stitch. So I need to have my foot down. I'm going to bring the bobbin thread up to the top and have the foot down, and I'm going to pick the one with the broken line, and the machine is then going to move and baste around the teddy. Trace with basting. Okay, as soon as I press this, it'll go. So it's doing great big long stitches. I can let those threads go now. And you can see now it's anchoring all those layers together in big long stitches. And back to the beginning. Okay, let's cut the thread, and the machine goes back to the centre. Now if I press this button here, it will show me what parts of the design it's going to do. So I'm going to do all of those through to number 6, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what happens for number 7. Bye.
Can we go?
Okay, on the screen here I've done all the teddy, and it tells me we're up to colour 6. So at this point I've threaded the machine with white thread to match the polar fleece, and I'm going to sew colour 6. And it's just going to do straight line across the top of his head and stop. Now what I'm going to do is go back to my screen and arrow back to sew colour 6 again, because putting that line in gives me the placement now to put some ribbon down. So I'm going to put the ribbon in, and I'm going to let the machine sew 6 again and sew that ribbon in place. Now what I'm going to do is take the solvy off, and then I'm going to take another piece of polar fleece and put it on top of all of that and sew the outline. And if you have a look on the screen, there's an opening at the bottom. It's going to sew all the way around the teddy and then all the way back around again. And then we're going to take it out of the hoop, cut a seam allowance around and turn him inside out. But I want you to keep the excess you cut off so that you can stuff the excess polar fleece back into the teddy when you've turned him the right way. I'll be back shortly. Okay, so this is the 3 layers sewn together. I've got a little opening here, and now what I'm going to do is just pull the teddy off the tearaway. You need to be a bit careful here when you sew those 3 layers together, that the underneath doesn't move. So that's the right side up. If I turn him over, you can see all the embroidery, so the outline is within. Now you can take this paper off, just tear it away. That's why it's called tear away. I'll get that little bit on his head. And now what I'm going to do is cut close to the stitching line, but not the stitches. Need a scissors that cut. So I'm going to cut around Ted. Now the pieces that we're cutting off, all of this here, we're going to keep. You're going to cut it up into small little pieces and use that to stuff the teddy and make him fat. So you can see that. So I'll continue to cut around, then I'll pull him through. The ribbon is inside in here. He'll be coming out the top of his head when he's turned around.
Well, it's a bit of a stretch for Saturday, but I think we'll be all right.
What can I do?
You need to get into his...
Just hit the mute button. Go.
Okay, so I've cut him out and now I'm pulling him through to the other side. Now you're going to have to just take this slowly, get his feet through first. You can see there's the stitching through on one of his feet, and then get his hands through. There's his little heart coming. There's a ribbon on his head. Here we come. And then we're going to stuff him and we'll have to, oh, I've pulled that ribbon out. Let's get his other ear. Okay. Okay, that's our teddy. I'll have to fix his ribbon. But with the pieces that are left over, I'm just going to cut these roughly and push them all back inside and then sew up his bottom. Just like that. So you can see that's all gone into his head. I'll keep stuffing him and we'll come back and see him finished. There you go. I've stuffed little Ted. I've stitched the bottom up, and there he is. All done. Have fun.